John Cena, in his first championship defense at Backlash, defeated Randy Orton. Okay, we all sort of knew that that was going to happen. Yes, we like to joke around, Andy, that Randy Orton always has at least a 45% chance in championship matches. John Cena gets the victory, but that's not what I want to talk about. We're going to talk about the match, but I want to save that because to me, what happened after the match is far more impactful than what happened during the match. You see, John Cena retains his championship. He grabs the microphone, cuts a promo about wanting some competition. And then afterwards, Andy, after the show goes off the air, I don't know about you, but man, when the actual pay-per-view goes off and then the press conference stream comes up, I stick around and watch for just a minute because you never know what's going to happen. And Andy, the story was told right then, right after the pay-per-view went off the air. You saw the picture on the thumbnail. You see it behind me. The expression on John Cena's face changed. Andy, he's questioning everything. There was something that clicked in his brain, and we don't know what it is because we haven't heard from him yet. Something clicked that is starting to make him question this heel turn and who he has become. What was your reaction when you saw this?
Yeah, I was kind of taken back by it because I honestly didn't expect to get these kind of developments for his character this early. So I thought that aspect of it was pretty interesting. I thought the crowd did their part of chanting "Thank you, Cena," and as they're chanting that, that's like the moment that it started to kind of sink in a little bit for him, and he started to have whatever midlife crisis in his mind he was having. But yeah, I think the post show, like everything that happened after the match was over with Cena, just kind of plays into his character even more. He's doing this because he thinks it's our fault as fans to drive him to this, and now that we're showing him appreciation, it's almost like it's too late for him to feel this way about us now, and so it's starting to form and starting to fix itself in a way that like we're starting to see that go forward. So I don't know what to expect from him from now on. Obviously, we saw what happened during the actual post show itself during the press conference. So he is still same old bad guy John Cena as of now.
Yep.
But I honestly, after this, I'm expecting the face turn to happen a lot sooner rather than being his last match in Boston, which they did announce after the pay-per-view as well.
Yes. Yeah. And then we'll get into that as the months go on. But yeah, I completely agree, man. A face turn is coming. Sam Roberts on his emergency pod reaction on Sunday morning called Cena a robot. And he said, this is a glitch in the John Cena robot because the real John Cena, the one that we see at the beginning of every promo that created that toy championship with the tinfoil and the duct tape and the what have you, that real John Cena that doesn't want to ruin wrestling is still in there. So we're starting to see, it's like he's installed this software of heel John Cena and it's glitching. There's updates to the system that need to be updated, and there's some things that are creeping in that are like the old John Cena. So it's clearly coming out. But as you mentioned in the press conference, R-Truth shows up in the press conference, who also showed up at the end of the match, essentially helping John Cena win. And Cena was great in this press conference, Andy. He was willing to answer the media's question until Truth came in and said, man, I love you, John. You're my hero no matter what, even though people say that you suck and you can't wrestle. And it's like it snapped Cena back into what he wants to be, I guess. And he puts R-Truth, I almost called him Ron because Cena called him Ron, puts R-Truth through the table, thus seemingly, okay, we're back to this heel John Cena, but it still makes us fans wonder, Andy, like you said, when is this switch going to happen sooner than we probably thought?
Yeah, I completely agree because obviously, I mean, I can see, in Saturday night's main event, which is what, next week?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not this coming Saturday, but
the following one. Yeah. I could see them doing John Cena versus R-Truth at that show. and we could play into this more. But if anybody can turn John Cena sort of back to being a babyface, R-Truth is kind of that guy.
Yep.
And so I could see them starting to play into that even more. Of maybe Cena starts to teeter, maybe something starts to happen, but then like a Cody Rhodes comes back and it just sends him right back into that mindset that he was pre WrestleMania.
Yep.
So there's a lot of options that they can do. There's a lot of ways they can go with it. But I'm more intrigued now than I have been in a while with the Cena heel turn, because the Cena heel turn was awesome when it happened, and then everything that happened at WrestleMania kind of watered it down a little bit. And then everything that's kind of been happening the last couple of weeks, nothing really crazy has been going on. This is starting to bring some intrigue back to it for me.
Yeah, it's definitely given us something to latch on to, because think about the possibility of, I know we're really just, as Sam Roberts likes to say, we're speculating wildly here, that R-Truth could win the championship and it just be the wildest thing. Just absolutely insane. Jared Justice, our third co-host, would just lose his mind if in a bad way. Andy and I would be all for it.
All for it. Yeah.
Bring all the chaos.
It could be worse than Jinder winning the title, so I'm all for it.
100%. Yeah. Even if Cena beats him like 48 hours later or something, listen, Truth winning a title. But to your point about Truth possibly turning Cena, see, I think it could even be the opposite, because we see these little seeds of these things being planted about Cena possibly turning. But dude, who are they going to boo? Cena or Truth? Especially when he beats the snot out of R-Truth. Like, especially because Truth snapped him back into what he seemingly is now. So the people will boo the crap out of him. But like going back to that Backlash before before the press conference, going back to Cena really just whatever this is that's happening, you have to think, man, like you mentioned a little earlier about the thank you Cena chants. You could see the emotion on his face. It's almost like he was saying, no matter what I say, no matter what I do, you people are still cheering me. And I just don't get it. It's like the question that Sam Roberts posed, Andy, it's the same thing that I'm going to pose to you. It's like in Cena's mind, he is saying what I'm doing is wrong. And in my gut, I know it, but I can't change it now. But is this really how I want to go out? I know, Andy, that maybe this heel turn isn't exactly what we all dreamed of. Like you mentioned, there have been spots that are good, but is this really how he wants to go out? I think the answer is no.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't think this is how he ultimately wants to go out. I think we're going to get at least a couple of months with Babyface Cena back.
Yes.
And so I could see him dropping the title at SummerSlam, doing the turn again at SummerSlam, being back to a babyface at post SummerSlam, and then the last half of his run, like the last half of the year, is babyface John Cena going up against whoever. I think that is a very likely, outcome that we could see happen. But I could also see him like fighting this character, this urge, or this, whatever, this personal demon he has in his life, fighting it all the way until Survivor Series, and then his last match, he's the babyface comeback. We get it one last time for the final time. So there's a lot of different options they could do. There's a lot of different ways they could go. But the more this story starts to develop and the more this turn kind of goes deeper and deeper, the more I'm starting to realize maybe this wasn't as planned out as we thought.
Sure. Yeah.
And this was not necessarily a last second decision, but like what if we just did this and let's just see what happens. And I feel like that's kind of what we've gotten so far.
Do you think it would have been more successful had they planned it out a little more, or had it not been such a on the whim type decision? Or the reason I asked that is because I saw some people floating around online today. Maybe Vince McMahon was right and we shouldn't turn this guy heel.
I don't know. I'm kind of looking at it like from the back, from a massive, 30,000 foot view or whatever, however you say that phrase, I always mess it up. But like, The thing that has dragged this down the most is The Rock. Like, The Rock's involvement in all of this is useless and is pointless, and it's just to do what they needed to do to get Elimination Chamber over, because from that moment on, you had to have him show up at WrestleMania for this to work. And he didn't show up. Travis Scott took his place, and we've seen the reaction that got and the discourse that has brought in to everything. And then everything that Rock said post WrestleMania of just like, yeah, we didn't really have a plan. Like, we didn't really know what we were doing. It was just kind of doing our own thing out there. The Rock being The Rock. I feel like if you could have done this turn on Cody with Cena without the involvement of The Rock, and it wouldn't have put a negative on what they've done so far, because you're now not setting really high expectations that a month out from WrestleMania you're not going to hit, but still having those expectations out there anyway.
Yeah, I definitely think it's interesting how it ended, how it came about. I definitely would have liked more planning in this. I think if given the proper time ahead of it, they could have maybe been more successful here, because I'll be honest, like after the Elimination Chamber and right after WrestleMania, like I've put the Rock thing to bed. Like it is what it is at this point. Now let's see how you do standing on your own. And the couple of weeks with Randy has been fine, but it seems like it's been a rinse and repeat of what happened with Cody. So I'm more curious about, how do you capitalize now? How do you keep me more intrigued now? Which now it seems like it's going to be Cena fighting himself, figuring out if he's a heel or a babyface. Okay, that's fine, but I really didn't get a heel John Cena. I guess my ultimate question is like, do you as a fan regret John Cena turning heel? Would you have just preferred? I know it's hindsight. We probably still have a couple months left, but would you have rather just seen straight up John Cena for a year and we're done with
it? See, I don't know. It's hard to gauge that, and it's hard to decide that, because I really enjoy fleshing out this heel persona of John Cena. Like I'm enjoying that aspect of it. Like everything post Elimination Chamber, the promos that he cut while they were on the European tour and everything was just perfect. I mean, everything about that, the first 3 weeks of this run was absolutely amazing. But everything since then has kind of been more missed than hit. So I don't know. I think it's going to get a lot of comparisons to Austin turning heel, of just doing it just to do it. Which I get that. Like I get that argument, and depending on where we go, that's probably going to be the outcome of this whole thing. Is like, well, we just kind of did it. The moment was great. The moment kind of ruled, but everything after that was like, okay, whatever. But it's just, you got to give him credit, because it's something new and it's something different. And, yes, I agree with you. I wish planning would have gone into this more, because I think there is diamonds in this. I think they can do something very special with this.
Yeah.
But I think they've kind of backed themselves into the corner of, I'm not changing anything because I've always been the bad guy. You guys have just never realized it, even though we have realized it. And like, I'm not doing this or the other. I'm going to kill professional wrestling. When you make a statement that you're going to kill professional wrestling, people aren't going to like what you do. So like you got to kind of be willing to accept that when you make that statement.
Yeah, I mean, like they're booking this as an old school heel, and like you're not supposed to like the fact that he's won both matches with a nut shot followed by a belt shot. Like you're not supposed to like that. We weren't supposed to like the fact that Roman Reigns won every match by interference, but guess what? He did it. He did it for 1,300 days, and now we're like, our tribal chief, acknowledge you. Like it in the moment, it may seem terrible, but at the end, we're gonna look back on it and be like, listen, John Cena was a heel. They swung for the fences, and it was what it was. I'm like you. I think we still have a little bit longer to soak this in. I think we still have a little bit longer to enjoy this. I'm anxious to see where they go from here. Andy, I know he's scheduled for quite a few appearances between now and at least Money in the Bank. So we'll see what happens after that.